Hello, welcome. My name is Leanna, and I have been with Starbucks for a little over 6 years. I started as a barista in the retail stores and worked very hard to move up to the store manager level after moving from Wisconsin, where I began, out here to Seattle, where I currently am. I was able to stay with the company and work my way up at the same time. I was a store manager here in Seattle for about a year and a half before I stepped sideways into the role that I'm currently in, which is an administrative assistant role in the digital marketing department. And I am based out of the Starbucks Support Center, which is what we call our HQ in Seattle. I have an educational background in environmental sustainability and am passionate about bettering the planet. Being in the field with Starbucks in the stores has given me a lot of time to see opportunity when it comes to sustainability within the stores and to be in a position to create change. I want to begin by sharing a little background into Starbucks as a company and some of their social responsibility initiatives. Starbucks is a company that does great things for the planet, even though they don't talk about it in the media much. So I want to share a few examples of the really great things that they do. The first one is that Starbucks has committed to making coffee the first sustainable agricultural product ever. This is huge for the world of coffee as well as for the agricultural world. As the coffee belt is greatly affected by climate change, as well as the decline in young people wanting to get into the farming business. So we have taken it upon us, which is a big leap, but coffee is the basis of our company, so we need to take a vested interest. Secondly, Starbucks has also committed, has also created an online course offered to all of its employees. It's called the Greener Apron. It's a course through ASU Online. They have partnered together to create it. It's to inform employees about the initiatives that Starbucks is taking inside as well as outside of the stores in regard to environmental sustainability. It is a very informative voluntary program that they have created together. And then the final example would be that Starbucks has recently teamed up with McDonald's and the Closed Loop Partners to find what they call the Next Gen Cup. They are looking for someone or a company to create the next single-use cup that is either recyclable and or compostable. Because we're a very big company, a lot of waste is created, and so it's time that we take responsibility for our product after it leaves our stores. So this is a great step in the world of packaging, which is huge. So now that I've kind of given you a rundown of where environmental sustainability falls within the company, I want to delve deeper into where I want to take sustainability within the retail stores, as that is my interest. So when looking at Starbucks and other food service or retail companies, there are many factors to consider when it comes to sustainability. After my years in the stores and while I was there, especially as a store manager, I sought out ways to make every store that I worked in just a little bit more sustainable. To me, that meant trying to control what was in my control. And so as a store manager, I started out with just my employees, focused on their usage of the single-use cup. This is an initiative that I took to transform the behavior of my employees. It started with just a friendly competition between my employees to see who could use the least amount of single-use cups, and most of them all won. But the behavior stuck with them after the competition ended, realizing how easy it is to use their own water bottle or glass. So what I wanted was to take this small idea that I started in my one store and have it grow throughout the retail stores. So now I'd like to walk you through a little bit of my process of making this idea a reality and how I have gone about reaching retail stores and leading these changes. I started by creating a vision statement, which you can see here. a corporation of Starbucks retail stores leave no waste in the environment and have long-term care for the future of each community that they are in. This is ideal state, future state, and it's very out of reach. Starbucks is such a large company, and there are so many factors to include, such as packaging, products, supply chain, that leaving no waste is just a little unrealistic. As we are in so many different municipalities throughout the country that each have their own set standard when it comes to recycling and composting and landfill, that we cannot please them all. So that makes this vision statement just a little up there. But I followed it with a mission statement. Starbucks will be a leader in creating less waste, forging the path among competitors in the coffee industry, finding new ways to accomplish success. This is the mission statement that I've written out to help me and the leaders I recruit to accomplish this goal of creating less waste, because Starbucks as a company can lead the way. So one of the first steps that I've taken to accomplish this dream within the company is to join the employee network here in the headquarters office called Partners for Sustainability. This is a group of like-minded individuals working as a grassroots coalition to push sustainability initiatives through the company. They had an opening on their board of directors as a chapter network lead, and I definitely took it. This position means that I oversee the field employees and their chapters of this group who want to be involved. And they're all over the country. This means that it is my job on this partner network to build a coalition of these field employees to connect with and be able to possibly live out this idea in my head, this dream of creating less waste in the stores. So this role is really fitting for me because I spent years working in the retail stores, and I was also a store manager for a period of time, so I have that connection and that understanding of what their day-to-day is like and their job and all of those expectations that go along with it. And now that I'm in a more flexible role within Starbucks HQ, I can help create and maintain this network. So leveraging my experience, my education, and my current role, I am in the best possible place to make this a success. So I had this grand idea of recruiting a handful of store managers throughout the country to be able to share ideas with them and work on small initiatives like reducing our single-use cup usage and make changes within the store so that we could get results and have something tangible to measure. I thought I could meet people across the country using our Starbucks social media platform for employees. It's called Workplace. It's Facebook for work. And be able to reach out and find engagement in a really short period of time. With that group, I wanted to organize a competition for them and have these tangible results to show about how we could reduce waste so quickly, and I thought that this would all be possible so quickly. However, it did not work out that way. It turns out that finding engagement and the building of relationships and creating trust with one another and like taking the time to have one-on-one conversations, it's the backbone to the mission and values. It takes time, but without that, we can't accomplish these long-term results that I and they want. So I want to talk you through my day-to-day, my week-to-week, on my progress made toward this end goal, which turns out isn't even just my goal. It's all those I've involved as well. So I typically receive a few emails each week from employees all over the country who are interested in joining Partners for Sustainability or starting their own chapter wherever they're located. And so I receive these interested employees' emails via our Greener Apron course program, the one I told you about through ASU. When employees complete the course, they're able to opt into getting more involved with our group or other groups throughout the company, and they can request more information. And so when they're interested in becoming a chapter or being part of a chapter, the email is sent to me. So when I get that, I spend time following up with them, learn more about them, learn about their Starbucks journey, and find out what has brought them to be so passionate about sustainability and where they want to take that with the company. So there's a lot of time spent, waiting on emails, sending emails back and forth, and once they want to become a chapter, they have to get approval from their higher up, and so there's waiting time on that. But once I get their chapter application, we set up a video conference, because there's nothing like having a face-to-face conversation with somebody, even if they're on the other side of the country. I've made great connections so far with people that live literally on the opposite corner of the country, which is just incredible to me. So after they've submitted their application, we have like a video conference to get to know one another. I send out their welcome letter, which includes links to Starbucks tools online. We talk about their expectations, which is to participate in a bi-monthly call with all the other chapter leads throughout the country and myself. And then they are also expected to organize or have their area participate in one community or volunteer activity, as when you're part of your community, you're more invested in it. So as chapters, we don't have other set standards or guidelines, as I have been letting these store managers and district managers get out of this engagement exactly what they want. And what they want most is to, one, be involved in their community, and two, they want to have access to this network of like-minded Starbucks leaders. They want to be able to problem solve with each other and talk through ideas, and they want to learn from each other. And I love that I helped create this platform for them, because I remember what it was like when I was a store manager, and no other store manager in my district was interested in sustainability or cared about waste or anything that I was passionate about. I couldn't find any like-minded person to, work with and share these ideas with. And so I'm glad that each of these store managers and district managers have a group that they can go to and talk to, and we can all get together and talk about these things. So basically this project has shifted from having a competition and getting results quickly to building this coalition of great sustainability leaders and digging through the weeds to find people that are passionate and interested. And it has taken a lot of time, but we are getting there, and it's just exciting that it's throughout the whole company and throughout the whole country. And leading others and just becoming a leader doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And one thing that really helps and has helped me is I found a few mentors, a few throughout this building and a few elsewhere. And one, this information has just kind of stuck with me, is from Dr. Kevin Gazzara. Brought to me these 3 leadership commandments, which are very fitting to how my project has kind of taken twists and turns, because the first commandment is to know thyself. I have pursued a lot of education in environmental sustainability. I am passionate about it. I work in a very big corporation that has a very large footprint, and I want to do whatever it takes to better that. And so like I know myself, and I know some goals that I have, and I know that I can't do them alone. And so then the second commandment comes to understanding others, and learning about others. And so while I've built this coalition, this network of other store managers and district managers throughout the country, I have taken the time to understand them, to get to know them, and figure out what they want from having a connection at HQ and what they want from this whole group, basically. And then the third one is to initiate and sustain change. And I feel without the first two, you can't even accomplish the third. Without these relationships that I've begun to build, there's no way that when we decide to make a change that it will be able to sustain. And so on the last slide, the process that I just described to you with my day-to-day and week-to-week, this basically sums up how that relates to that. And so I know that I can say confidently that we are able to sustain these changes as we have built these relationships with each other. And even though I'm leading this coalition of other leaders, I definitely have the rest of the board of Partners for Sustainability behind me, supporting me. And I'm able to look to them for input and advice and to become like vulnerable to them when I need help with something. And from this entire process of building up this from nothing, one of my biggest takeaways is to have adaptability. I wanted to build this network. I wanted to create an initiative that could be measured and have these tangible results, but I wasn't prepared for how long it takes to build relationships and the amount of time spent just waiting on email responses. It has caused me to just pivot as a leader, flex a different muscle, and I've learned that it's not always about the result and the number. Even though I have worked in retail for 13 years and those sales numbers are the most popular thing, it isn't about that. And it's about having patience, because with this coalition, we're going to be making small incremental changes. But as I have stated, and as you probably know, Starbucks is a huge company. Small changes add up over time, which is huge, and it's kind of chilling to think about. And so building this network of sustainability leaders throughout the company with this trust, we're going to have a much longer lasting impact within the company and within the communities that each of these stores are in, which is very exciting. So I'm not going to end this presentation with a major conclusion and wrap up, because it isn't wrapped up. I am not done. I'm still in this role within Starbucks, within this partner network, building this coalition of field employees and continuing to share ideas and broaden our reach. And I got in this role on the board of directors in October, November, and I started from zero. I started with no information. I started with nothing from the predecessor. But I'm proud to say that with a lot of time spent, I have 10 official chapters led by store managers and district managers throughout the country, reaching to over 40 company-operated retail stores. And even though that number might seem small to you, it's huge in regard to engagement within the field. There are other networks within our headquarters building that can't seem to reach their field partners with whatever their mission is, but there are so many sustainability-minded employees in our field, and it's so exciting. It has taken some digging and has taken a lot of time, but finding these people throughout the country and building that is just very exciting. So I'm excited to see the progress that this group makes in 1 to 3 to 5 years from now, and I am just so lucky and proud to be a part of it and to be a leader. Thank you for sitting through this. I hope you enjoyed it. Some references, my appendix. Thank you.